Trick or treat! Were you expecting that? Probably. It's Halloween weekend after all. I was feeling festive, so here I am, kind of dressed for the occasion. We are one of the last things standing between you and that awesome Halloween party, or even some classic trick-or-treating. When do you get too old for that stuff again? Hey, we don't judge. Well, at least not your Halloween habits. We do judge Georgia State sports, and if you don't know me yet, I'm your anchor, Joey Redmond, serving up a bucket full of sweet new sports topics for you to snack on. I'll try and keep the Halloween puns to a minimum. No doubt, though, fall is the season for holidays and celebrations. Here at GSU, we kicked off the fall basketball season with a little celebration we call GSU Jam. It's a big event, so we did our best to condense it all down for you, and here is Malik Brown to fill you in on that action.
Here in the sports arena, Georgia State is about to kick off their annual GSU Jam, introducing the men's and women's basketball team for the upcoming season. The night was filled with dancing, shooting, and dunking. Players and coaches were introduced together as they gave the fans shirts and also gave them some of their dancing skills. Coach Ron Hunter stole the spotlight as he gave the crowd an opportunity to show him the new dance moves that are now in style. The first event of the night was the three-point contest as the men and women were set to face off. The game stayed close until Jeff Thomas was able to get high late and lead the men to a win. Does Jeff think he's the best three-point shooter on the team after his performance?
I wouldn't say that. It might have been just a good night, but it's always competition. It was always competition in the locker room.
The main event of the night was the dunk contest, where players showed off their high-flying ability. Last year's winner, Isaiah Dennis, was ready to defend his title, but he couldn't seem to get anything going. What happened this year, man?
Man, this year, I don't know, like I said, that just shows how talented our team is. We got guys that can compete, anywhere on the court, even in dunk contest, three-point contest. It's like that in practice every day. You never know who's going to come out and win.
On the other hand, it was a big night for Malik Benlevy, as he was able to connect on this nice dunk. I asked him what his inspiration was for the dunk.
My coach that died, today is his birthday, so kind of want to put it on for him. But I ain't really had no plan, I just thought of it as soon as it was my time to dunk.
The season is soon arriving, and the men's basketball team is looking forward to big things. With the departure of Kevin Ware, it's evident that players are going to have to step up more.
We have a freshman that came in, he's really good right now, and hopefully he picks up the slack that Kevin did.
Oh, yeah, I really got to be more vocal this year and like lead the young guys and stuff like that. It's going to be a great opportunity for me to be vocal this year because we got a lot of young talent here, and I can't wait to see what we're going to do with it.
Last year wasn't the best season for the team, but this year they plan to be at the top.
Winning Sun Belt, and we going dancing this year. You know what that means, we going to the NCAA tournament.
Expectation is to take our lead back and make it to the tournament and go deep.
If you want to see more of the basketball team, make sure to come out this season. For Primetime Sportz, I'm Malik Brown.
Really, the only thing scary about that event was Coach Hunter dancing. I'm just kidding, Coach. Always a real treat to see you having fun. I did say I would try, right? But come on, where's the bar? Who's counting? I'm in charge here. So in charge, in fact, I say it's time to introduce the next topic, which is Guan Bay, giving us her weekly report on men's soccer and their recent winning streak.
With only 3 games remaining, the GSU men's soccer team is getting prepared to host the College of Charleston for its final non-conference game. After a table-turning defeat to Georgia Southern, the Panthers won 3 straight games. In those games, Hannes Burmeister continued to lead the team, scoring his 9th goal, followed by Max Hemming's 6th and 7th goal. In addition to these goal-leading players, Casey Schulte scored his first 2 goals in 2 of the 3 games. The Panthers had a tough time on Wednesday evening against the Cougars. Both sides made a total of 12 shots on goal throughout 95 minutes. Yannick Horn, a junior goalkeeper, kept a clean sheet for the 3rd time in a row. 5 minutes into the overtime, Liam Fitzsimmons kicked a free kick which Kyle Clinton shot off rebound to score the winning goal.
Scoring a goal is great, even when you're a defender, so any goal you can get as a defender feels like you're on top of the world.
The last home game will be on the 29th of October, this Saturday against Hartwick. For Primetime Sportz, I'm Guan Bay.
Don't worry, I won't be shouting off about soccer this week. Sorry if you were looking forward to that again. But stick around because I might have a new trick up my sleeve. What's that, like number 3, 4 now. Like I said before, who's actually counting? Actually, there are some people counting. Not my puns, but stats. More specifically, stats of senior tight end Keith Rucker. Keith is on the watch list for the most prestigious tight end award in the country, and Nathan Nair will fill you in on the rest.
The award nominations keep coming in for the Georgia State football team. The latest name to be mentioned, senior tight end Keith Rucker. Earlier this month, tight end Keith Rucker was added to the John Mackey Award watch list, which is given to the best college tight end. With Rucker being the second Georgia State tight end to receive the nomination following Joel Ruiz in 2014, he credits the camaraderie of the tight end group.
We're a tight-knit group. We all learn from each other. You know, some of us may be better receiving and some may be better at blocking, but we all collaborate and we work together to share each of our strengths with each other so that there's no weaknesses.
The winner will be selected by the John Mackey Award Selection Committee and will be announced on December 7th. For Keith, winning it will be a big step in the right direction.
That'd be the next big step. Obviously, the goal is to bring it home at the end of the day. But if I can be a semifinalist, that would be one extra step towards that goal. So.
Rucker did not take the field this past game against UT Martin due to a rib injury. Now, there is a chance that he will be in pads this upcoming game against South Alabama, as he is listed as questionable. For Primetime Sportz, I'm Nathan Nair.
Well, we do hope Keith can be back for the South Alabama game, but last Saturday, if you didn't know any better, you might have thought he played, because our football team finished the homecoming game with a 31-6 victory over UT Martin. And remember that trick I said I might have for you? Did you really think I wasn't going to find time to yell excitedly about a Georgia State football team? You should know better. Roll the game day highlights. All right, here we go. Connor Manning, starting quarterback except for this game, got hurt, so Aaron Winchester will have to answer the call. But we'll start with the defense. First drive for UT Martin, and it's intercepted. Number 42, Trey Payne, who, get this, was also the long snapper and returned a kickoff for 11 yards. This man was everywhere. So now it's the offense's turn. Aaron Winchester takes a snap, doing what he does best, up the middle. Pass 1, 2, 3, touchdown. Celebration is in full swing, but wait, hang on a second. Oh, there's holding. Yeah, Aaron's not so happy about that, but that's okay. Drive continues. Darius subs up the middle to the goal line. Stops short. Drive ends after a failed 4th and goal. Yeah, we'll use that clip again because Aaron, he's still not happy. But it's okay, he says. We'll get another shot on the next drive. If he can't use his legs, he'll use his arm. Number 17, Glenn Smith, touchdown. Panthers go up 7-0 after the point after. Now, can we look at this play, please, from B.J. Clay? Good Lord, son. Jumps out the stadium. Can we get a slow motion replay of that? Can I see that back, please? Here we go. Leaves me speechless. Genuinely speechless. Textbook play. So Aaron gets it next, and he says, okay, defense, you have people who can make plays? Well, I do too. And his name's Glenn Smith. Again. To the 6-yard line. Drive ends in a field goal. Panthers up 10-0. Now, Joey, what about all-time receptions leader Robert Davis? Where's he today? Well, he had some injury issues, so he was limited. But believe me, I found him. Or maybe he found me. I don't know which one it was, but he was there. And put another reception on the books for Mr. Davis, please. Defense again. Camera angle change this time because, believe me, you don't want to miss this. Handoff, right side, but McKendy Cheridor says, nope. Fumble on the play, and the big man, Martarius Allen with the escort to the end zone. If you thought you saw the camera shake on that play, it wasn't the camera. It was the whole stadium. Big man gets a big touchdown. Only the second time in GSU history that a fumble was returned for a TD. And please, Mr. Allen, tell us what you thought of that touchdown.
Yes, Coach Ritter jokes me daily about me having 2 flat wheels on my feet. So just basically I was in a lot of pain, and I just scooped the ball up and had my teammates assist me to the end zone. So I commend them from that.
Thanks, big fella. Okay, now we have to set this next play up just a little bit. It happened so fast, we missed it live. So let's go to the replay board. On the very next play for UT Martin, it's a pick. for 6. BJ Clay back in the news. Yeah, that was the very next play for UT Martin after the fumble for a touchdown. Defense is on fire, but now it's the offense's turn, finally. Stubbs in the backfield. He says, okay, defense, you can score touchdowns. Well, watch this. I can too. Up the middle and wait for it. Bam! Get out the way. Stubbs breaks a big one for another 6 points as the Panthers go up 31-6. And the battle for the best team position group continues. Defense versus offense. Defense says, okay, offense, we see your touchdown and we raise you another interception. Who else but BJ Clay? Is he the MVP of this game? It could be argued. Hey, Coach Miles, close this out for me, please.
Well, for me, I mean, I'm just satisfied because they're having success. You know, you see Darius Stubbs as a true freshman run over some guys and go take it to the house. I mean, that's a great thing to see a freshman do, and he's just getting better. He's not a freshman anymore because he's played enough now. And then to see guys like BJ Clay that work so hard and such good people. You know, these guys are good students. They represent the university the right way off the football field. You know, they're community service guys. They're doing all the things the right way.
Coach Miles, always a class act for sure. You should know who this guy is by now. Caleb, that was maybe, lack of a better term, a pretty scary defensive performance. Scary in a good way, and going to be hard to top going in this Saturday against South Alabama. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it just showed what we expected to see so far this season. I mean, the defense has been the highlight of this team, has really carried this team, and to perform the to shut out, to not allow a touchdown, first time in school history. I mean, just, it doesn't surprise me though, because I see these guys, I see the way they fight, and I know they're going to produce. You know, but seeing this team as a whole, I'm excited for what I see going into South Alabama. It just, they have, momentum is on their side, and you expect things to go well for them.
I want to reemphasize that point you made about this being the first time in Georgia State history, since being a football program, that they did not allow a touchdown by the opposing team, whether home or away. First time, period. It was the first time in history that there were 2 defensive touchdowns in the same game. And I said it in the highlight tape, only the second time, I may have said it in the highlight tape. If I didn't, I'll say it again. Only second time in Georgia State history that a fumble was returned for a touchdown. So this was not only just a great win for the season books, but a big win for the history books. I mean, the defense really put themselves out there and made a whole new statement, if you will, for the football team going forward and what the defense is capable of. Not to mention it was homecoming. So the crowd is there, the atmosphere is high, pressure might be on after a relatively unsuccessful season to this point. So they managed to pull it out, and South Alabama is struggling right now. So do you think this momentum will help us take advantage of that?
Most definitely. You know, if you think about last season and what happened where midway through the season, Georgia State figures things out, and they go on that great run that leads them to their first bowl game, I see that possibility in this team. You're going up against South Alabama, who just lost back-to-back games against Troy Arkansas State, and it's possible the way that South Alabama has been playing. You know, they run very much. They score a lot of points. They like to score a lot of points, and when they're able to do so, they get wins. So it's curious to see what's going to happen with Georgia State, since when you look at points per game and points allowed per game, Georgia State and South Alabama are neck and neck. You know, we're right there with each other. But then you have to think about who is going to be out on the field for Georgia State. And I think that plays a lot into where the outcome of this game goes. Because as we saw with UT Martin, guys, you know, that next man up mentality that so many different football teams talk about, it worked for Georgia State. And so will we see that again, or will we see starters back healthy? I'm curious to see what will happen. You know, when it comes to the injury report from all speculation that we can see, Aaron Winchester will start this game for Georgia State. We don't know about Kyler. Will he be healthy enough? I'm not really sure, but Darius Stubbs. I mean, man, did he give us highlights that make us comfortable.
He sure did.
Playing South Alabama. When you think on the defensive side of the ball, Jerome Smith, who has been our all-star corner. I mean, the guy's making interceptions left and right, making plays left and right ever since Ball State, the very first game. And now you have B.J. Clay, a junior, coming off the bench. And the performance that he put on, I feel very comfortable with this game. I mean, when you look at what ESPN has ranked it and other sources, they have Georgia State and South Alabama in pretty much a dead heat to win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do. But I would argue, even with the records being so close, I think South Alabama, is 3-4. We're 2-5. I mean, the records are relatively neck and neck. I would argue that Georgia State's probably a superior football team. I think the talent, position for position, we edge out just a little bit more across the board to kind of give us the edge. So the dead heat probably has to do with a lot of the injuries because Penny Hart's still out. Robert Davis was limited. We're not sure how healthy he's going to be. We're still waiting to hear the status of Keith Rucker, of course. So there's a lot of things still up in the air. I still think we have the best chance. And if the defense can do what they did against UT Martin, really against anybody, we'll beat anybody. But who on the South Alabama roster is the defense going to have to take particular attention to make sure that they can stop the scoring?
Gerald Everett, okay? And if you go look up Gerald Everett on South Alabama's team, you'll think you're looking for a receiver that they're going to have to stop. They're going to have to stop a tight end. I mean, we have Keith Rucker, so I like to think that we have the better tight end, and we have Ari Wertz to back him up, which is very New England-ish as a duo there.
Sure, yep, you can make that point.
Yeah, we have great tight ends, but their tight end is their leading receiver. The man scored 4 touchdowns so far this season, which is just surprising for a single player, especially a tight end. But his receptions, 34 receptions, 567 yards worth of receptions. They're going to have to shut this man down, which means they might have to play a little different. They're used to the big, tall receivers that they played with earlier teams. And so it'll be interesting to see how they shut down a tight end. But it's very, very much doable. When Georgia State plays well in the fourth quarter, Georgia State wins football games. Mm-hmm. When Georgia State falls apart in the fourth quarter, Georgia State loses football games. And some of them have been some real heartbreakers when we think on earlier in the season. So I need to see Georgia State run the ball well the entire game to expect a win, and I need them to play well in the fourth quarter to also expect that win.
I want to get back to the point you made about the tight end, because that is unusual for a football team's leading receiver to be a tight end.
Yes.
Because of how multi-purpose tight ends are, they block in the pass, they block in the run, they usually set things up for screens to the running backs, and then occasionally they go out for a pass, usually up the middle. So that's a weird way that South Alabama has figured out to run their offense. If it's working for them, props. But who would you rather cover a tight end on our defense? Do you want a Bobby Baker in safety to do it? Do you want to see Jerome Smith give it a shot? Do you want to see Trey Payne give it a shot at linebacker, or do you do some kind of combination of those position groups?
I mean, it almost sounds like cheesy to say, but can't they all? Can't they all cover? I mean,
possibly.
Yeah, Bobby Baker, the man's going to do his job. Bobby Baker, so far this season, he hasn't been the big stats man, but you see him out on the field and how offenses are afraid. They're afraid to go his direction, and he's there to make tackles. And so, being that he's going to play, that he's going to be facing around that tight end, I expect Bobby Baker to be more of the guy to shut him down. But I think if they're able to shut the tight end down, then that means they're going to the receivers, which then gives the option of B.J. Clay, and if Jerome Smith is healthy, those guys to go out there and make the interceptions that they've done all this season. So that's why it looks so positive for Georgia State. I think some big things would have to go wrong for Georgia State in the same aspect where South Alabama has lost games. They've lost games on the big plays. They've lost. They've had punt returns for touchdowns. They've had the 70-yard pass, the 60-yard run is where looking at their game-to-game so far this season is what killed them.
Okay.
And so it'll be interesting if Georgia State, using Aaron Winchester, using his legs, because we heard Coach last week in the press conference talk about there's two completely different styles with Aaron and with Connor. So with Aaron, we know he's going to run because we saw that last week. I've got stats on him. This man was 16 for 82 yards as a quarterback.
Yeah.
We know he's going to run the ball.
Right.
And so if he's able to run the ball for positive yards rather than getting stopped in the backfield, getting sacked, those kinds of things, you know, we can expect.
Yeah, his passing is typically limited. You had that touchdown, not the touchdown, but the deep pass to the 6-yard line to Glenn Smith was literally half of his yards.
Yes.
So he's going to have to move the football on the ground. It's the way he's successful. Hopefully our running game can help him assist with that. We're hoping we get the team back, the whole team back for the South Alabama game. If there's a game to be going into after some good momentum, a 31-6 victory, a historic victory on the defensive side, you're glad it's against a truly beatable opponent like South Alabama to help rebuild some of that confidence. So we're going to get close to wrapping things up here. I just want to say I hope it's always good, you know, of course, having you on the desk, Caleb, and I hope you guys like him too, because he is going to be taking over my spot as the anchor for the month of November. That's the first time he just heard that news, by the way. How was that? Was that a trick or a treat? Or was it both?
That was definitely both, and I'm excited because, you know, you'll get to see my pretty face for a couple of weeks after this.
Hey, I mean, I hit him with both, so I can't top that. That's got to be the end of the show. So just a quick note, if you are going out this weekend, please be safe. And also, word of the wise, if anybody hands you anything without a wrapper on it, probably don't eat it. Or do, and risk not getting to see this guy on the desk next week. But why would you ever jeopardize that? So I'll have full expectations to see you back on this show, viewing the show with Caleb. I'll be on the other side of the desk from this point forward. But it's been so much fun. Thank you so much for your time again today, and we will see you next Friday.